Bluetooth. Now we got couple new people entering here. Got up to 3. Wondering how many pipe smokers out of those 3 there are, though. I put in the keyword of cigars. Could be picking up some cigar folks as well. Although we're equal opportunity here. What do we got in the bag here? A lot of Cornell and deal. This is a new cob, about 2 weeks old. I've not bought one in about 3 or 4 years. This is the aftermarket Forever Stem back. They don't sell them anymore. Not like this, they don't. Back in 2016, 2017. So every couple of years, I just replace my cob with a new cob end. I throw away the plastic stem and put the Forever Stem on it. orders from Cornell and Deal recently. We have Bayou Morning. We have Oriental Silk, a tobacco I used to talk quite a bit about. Got some old favorites, some new stuff. Brent, welcome. Before I show this this last 2-ounce bag here, I was filling up my cart on that website, and I recalled in my second video interview to Cornell and Deal down there in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, I asked Jeremy Reeves, the head blender, and you'll see it on the video. At some point in the interview, I asked him, what's the most underrated blend that you think should be a bigger seller that's not quite? And he said this is about 5 years ago. He said Yorktown. Yorktown, most of you probably haven't had it. I don't think they sell it tinned. Maybe they do. But if you watch the video, he says the reason I liked it, Jeremy Reeves is saying that the reason he liked it was that it has 4 different types of Virginias: toasted and untoasted, bright Virginia, and then toasted and untoasted red Virginia. So 4 total. No burley, no anything else. But yeah, Yorktown is unique. To be honest, it's a little bit light because there's not a lot of body there, but there is complexity on the lighter side. And so therefore, I think it's we're coming up towards summer. Not a great winter blend, but I would say a very interesting mowing the lawn type of blend. I haven't bought the image on my channel, which is Wessex Burley Slice, in a long time, partly due to availability, but I have felt like Burley Flake by H&H was a close substitute, and it was. I only bought it once a year, and I'm telling you, 2019, 2020, 2018, I felt like this was so close to Wessex Burley Slice that I couldn't tell the difference. However, I haven't bought Wessex in a long time, so it could be my taste buds are changing. But this is not quite as good as it used to be. Again, it's not a scientific experiment because I only buy it once a year at most. But it didn't seem as impressive this year as it did last year. Not that it's bad, a little bit lacking in just not a lot there. What else we got here? Atlas Balkan, a friend gifted me this. You always have to have a Balkan on you. Yeah, Yorktown's pretty obscure. I wouldn't expect many people. There was another YouTuber after that interview that I did. He's in New England somewhere. Grandpa Piper or something. I forget the name. Anyway. So much like most times when I buy tobacco, as soon as I get it, I realize what I should have ordered. And so I did all Cornell and Deal again, which I told myself many times before I was not going to do. I was going to start diversifying a little bit. But it's just hard. There's so much stuff out of stock on that website that you kind of start falling back into your favorites. But I wanted to get Dunhill Flake by Peterson's. I wanted to get a lot of GLPs, but I forgot about it. I wanted to get Triple Play again, even though I still have some Triple Play. How many people here have actually had Triple Play? I keep thinking Triple Play is GLPs, but it's just a higher end, kind of a sub brand of Cornell and Deal. It looks like a GLP's 8-ounce tin, but it's not. Look at the reviews here. Oh, sorry. No, it is GLPs. Well, that's why it tastes so good. That's why. 3.4. It's pretty good. I used to really love Briar Fox, and then I didn't. And I haven't heard anyone talk about Briar Fox in a long time. Again, by Cornell and Deal. But let's see what the review of Briar Fox is. I bought some Pegasus. I forgot about that. Pegasus used to be one of my old favorites. Briar Fox. Yikes. Briar Fox really dropped down in the ratings. I remember this being like in the low threes, and now it's a 3.0. That's kind of rough. The newest rating for Briar Fox from Cornell and Deal has a 2 out of 4 stars on tobaccoreviews.com. That's pretty low. For that brand, that's probably like an all-time low. That's kind of shocking. But my experience with Cornell and Deal over the last couple of years as well is the quality's been going down. No fault of their own. They can only blend that which they buy. But the grade of tobacco that they're buying or that is growing is just doesn't seem to be improving. I'm rarely pleasantly surprised by a C&D blend these days. I can't remember the last time I was, actually. Ahmad, welcome. But then again, my bar for Cornell and Deal tobacco is rooted in my early days of pipe smoking. So I always compare either consciously or subconsciously everything to those first couple months of C&D experiences. I bought Briar Fox in my first year of pipe smoking about a decade ago. I thought it was amazing. Then again, I thought a lot of things were amazing back then. But Ahmad, you unless I'm wrong, and I don't think I am, I actually made a video on Royal Yacht. This was 6-7 years ago. I remember it might have been a live stream. It was more of a live stream video, I think, but not a prepared video. But yeah, I'll summarize it very quickly. Before I bought it, I was attracted to the tin art. I liked the title. It seemed very James Bondish. I bought it, cracked it open, smelled it, heavy topping. But I knew it was dark and like a serious tobacco. And I'm biased toward, I'd rather have something too strong than too light. And I knew it was not going to be lacking body. But it took a while to get through the tin. But my biggest memory is on the first bowl. On the first bowl, it was like, I remember smoking 1792 by, you guys can help me with the blender, some European company. And it was as equally potent as 1792. But in a very, Navy rum-ish type of way. And I purposely wanted an alcohol-infused rum, if possible, a blend to smoke. But it was, I give it high praise for being a serious tobacco. There's nothing worse than being like a tobacco that you just forget about. You can't even taste. Like there was no, thank you, same again with. Royal Yacht is not, no one will ever complain that it's tasteless. And there's a lot of tobaccos that are pretty tasteless. It's just a very niche type of tobacco that I would, if I had it right now, I would smoke it. Actually, I haven't even thought about it. I don't even know if they make it anymore because it's technically a Dunhill. But no, I at the time I can't. I'd be lying if I said that like I had great smokes. I think I had one great smoke with it. out of a whole tin. But it was challenging. It was a challenging blend, but it wasn't boring. And so therefore, I would give it a good mark. The worst tobaccos are boring tobaccos. I'd rather that I hate it, but it's making a statement, than like I just can't say anything about it because it's just blah. But anyway. Oh, Peterson's. Well, Peterson still makes it. But it was a Dunhill blend, though, right? It was Dunhill's Royale, and Peters took over the whole portfolio. Anyway, when I filled up my basket for tobacco orders, I went through Peterson's, and I wasn't looking for it, but I didn't see it. So, Ahmad, I get what you mean. It's a niche. I'm smoking Aaron. Oh, Jesus Christ, Aaronmore flake. You have to cover my mouth just based on memories. If you can smoke Aaronmore, you can smoke anything. Geary, welcome. Moncloud. Oh, Moncloud. I'm about to crack open. Well, not crack open. You can't crack open plastic. I'm about to crack open. Hold on. It disappeared. I don't want to brag, but I have a new corn cob. Old stem, new cob. Yeah, it was Dunhill. Yeah, thank you. All right, now that we have a critical mass here, I was a little worried, guys. A little worried. I didn't think I was going to get more than 3 or 4. So thank you for chiming in. It's been a long time. By my Casio watch, it is late April. I don't think I made a live stream since November. So it's been about 6 months. When you get older, time goes by much, much quicker. The good news is the demographics of this channel skew a little older, so I don't have to explain that. There might be a 25-year-old here, but probably not. All right, I'm going to pick a tobacco. Again, they're all Cornell and Deal tobaccos, but I wanted to pick something that I don't think anyone here has had. Has anyone bought Izmir Turkish raw from Cornell and Deal? Now that I said that, I won't be able to find it. Whoa. Oh. I also have Morley's Best. It won't pick it up on the... Now I want to smoke the Turkish, because the Turkish is really interesting. So let me roam around. I've had a couple bowls of it. I just need to find it real quick. But guys, it's like $2.75 an ounce. It's a blending tobacco. But Izmir Turkish bulk, I think, is a undiscovered gem. I'm not gonna be able to find it, guys, but just go to Ladisi. You'll see it. I had a bowl 2 days ago. I had a bowl 3 days ago. I can't say enough good things about it. But until then, I'm gonna smoke. I didn't mix it with anything because it's like that famous quote from the movie Vacation with Chevy Chase. They're talking about Hamburger Helper on the barbecue, and he's like, I think it does fine all by itself. I think Izmir Turkish does fine all by itself. No, never smoked cigarette. Well, I smoke cloves occasionally in my 20s. So we're going to smoke Morley's Best here. I'm going to head outside in just a minute. All right. me get a lighter and we'll head outside. And a pipe cleaner. All right. Turn the fan on for a little circulation. All right. You get settled here. I bought 4 tins of McLaren Latakia rolls. I won't be able to add much commentary to that because I'm not a Latakia guy. Not anymore. Jacker, I moved last week to an apartment I can't smoke at. I'm jealous of your setup. Thank you. I'll have to find some public piping spots. It depends on the state. States are getting tougher and tougher these days. All right, we're going to pack up some Cornell Deal Morleys Best from smokingpipes.com. I would call it a heavy body, light Latakia. It's not a lap bomb. If it was, I wouldn't be smoking it. I also bought some WinstonSalem for you guys that you may know, Daughters and Ryan. WinstonSalem is like shag, roll your own tobacco. In general, I think the quality of tobaccos that are not European, not aged, have kind of went downhill. When I reorder all my any of my old favorites, they're never better than they're never better than the memory that I had was. Maybe that's just a byproduct of getting older. Let me get my pipe tool here. There's always that nostalgia factor that I'm sure you guys have experienced this. You reorder something that you used to love, and then how could you love it any more than what your memory told you? Every time you want a pipe tool, you can't find one. Oh well, I'll use my finger. Damn. I just had it too. Oh well. I'll share some life updates later, potentially as well. All right, catch up the comments here, guys. I'm gonna light up eventually, or right now. Morley's Best by C&D. Even though I can't find my pipe tool, I'll risk burning my thumb. I use my homemade chapstick tamper. I'm always guilty of this. I never light straight up. I'm always tilting my pipe 45, regardless whether it's a corn cob or a briar pipe. If you've cleaned as many bowl tops as I have, you're trying to minimize char at all costs. So I feel like I'm reducing char this way. Also, just kind of feels good. Geary, once in a hotel room with no taper, I think you mean tamper, I used a Bic pen or a bit pen, melted the bowl. I've done worse than that. I accidentally, this is about 5 years ago, traveled outside of my hometown, didn't have a tamper, or forgot it at home, because I'm terrible for getting things. I'm paranoid. I'm always checking my pockets because I forget things like crazy. I can't walk out of a store without leaving something. Anyway, long story short, I was using a chapstick as a tamper, and I put it away in my backpack. A couple days later, I pulled it out, and the top had come off, and it was cherry chapstick, and it actually went way down to the bowl. This is a deep bowl. A couple days later, I pulled the pipe out of my backpack, couldn't see down, filled it up with tobacco, and ended up mid-bowl getting like this cherry strange taste. Like, this is a straight Virginia. Where's this cherry taste coming from? And I was burning, eventually, I was essentially burning the cap like something like this with a little bit of residue of cherry tobacco or cherry chapstick in it. No one has done that. No one can top that story. It's the biggest faux pas ever. You can't accidentally shove cherry plastic crap down your pipe and then smoke it unknowingly. Like, it can't get any worse than that. And I made it more than a couple tokes into the cherry taste. I was like, this tobacco really comes alive. Wow, it's got undertones of cherry. No! It had cherry goddamn chapstick in it. That's what it had in it. And it was all my fault. And then I started thinking like, oh my God, how much burnt plastic smoke did I inhale? Or not inhale, but retrohale. But it was a whole ordeal. Really made me humble. It really brings you down to a common man level. If you weren't already there, that kind of experience is going to bring you way down. And yet I'm doing it again. Out of necessity, though. I don't know where my tools are. Geary, it's funny you say Salem's Black. I used to be a big fan. Smoking Pipe Padre turned me on to Salem's Black. Back in 2016, 2017, he'd make his Christmas time best tobaccos of the year. I told this story before in previous episodes, but when I was first getting into the hobby, I had to watch Smoking Pipe Padre's channel. Saw that Salem's Black was like one of his top 10 tobaccos of the year. And he showed me the packaging, and it was from Europe, and it was like triple covered, and it was like metal, and then a plastic bag inside metal. It just seemed very gothic and expensive. So I bought it. It was intense, rich, sweet, not like anything I've ever had before. Heavily topped. Almost like a 1Q on steroids is the way I would describe it. Okay, let's get some volunteer some tobaccos you guys are smoking. Well, 2 questions. things you like you never had before that you can recommend, and vice versa, things that you retried. I'm more interested in this second question. Things that you've recently smoked that have went downhill that you no longer recommend. Because that's always the tougher question. I think that's, in this hobby, the longer you're in it, the harder it is to find, quote unquote, the good stuff. I always think the first year of the hobby is the best because there's so many flavors, there's so many different experiences that it's like a kaleidoscope of your tongue is just on fire, but in a good way, not in a bad way. And then later on, you're always kind of comparing experiences to those first, like, magical first times. Ahmad, TV shows don't count. Ahmad no longer recommends Elizabethan. But my question, Ahmad, was why. Let's get to the cause here. What do you think has changed? And does anyone think that there's any tobacco that's actually improved over time? Aged tobacco doesn't count, by the way. Elizabethan used to be fantastic. If I had a time machine, now it makes me wonder if I should have went back in time and bought 1,000 pounds of pipe tobacco back in like 2015. That does beg the question, though, is that as you get older, does everything seem not to taste as good as it used to? Or is there an objective aspect of measuring tobacco flavor profiles and taste? Like, was there ever a golden decade of pipe tobacco? Or does it just keep getting worse because in people's minds it can only get worse? That's an interesting question. I'd love to talk to like a 50-something or 60-something pipe smoker. And he's like, David, this one blend over the last 2 decades has gotten better. Like, I'd love to meet a person who had that story. Yeah, Gary, I definitely get that based on the whole Syrian versus Cyprian. I know a little bit about the backstory, and the inventory's burnt up of the Syrian. Sorry, I said Cyprian. But I'm talking about just in general, not even a a flavor component, but just like Virginia or Burley. Has it ever really gotten better in the eyes of a pipe smoker? Perique would be a little more unusual. He's 70-ish. He smoked everything. Used to work in a local shop. The odd thing, though, is like, I'll give you an example. Perettis out of Boston, Massachusetts, in the U.S. That's a whole shop, sell tons. They're maybe not a top 3 seller in the country, maybe definitely a top 5 probably. But they condition a lot of their tobaccos to mask any year-to-year impurities. They don't do it to do that, but that's the byproduct of what they're doing. But a company like Cornell and Deal, there's no aging. It comes in the door, chop it up, destem it. Yeah, there's some putting under presses for flakes and whatnot that maybe take 2 to 3 weeks, but there's no aging for more than 30 days or so. At tops, let's say 6 weeks. And so when you're buying C&D, you're buying relatively young tobacco. Very young, actually, compared to anything you're buying in Europe, I have to assume. Let me catch up in the comments here, guys. Sorry. Oh, I used to, well, I grew up near Michigan. I actually worked in Michigan. Gary, people say McBaron made Three Nuns is better than STG. Why don't I know that name? STG. I mean, I know Aura Golden Slice, but acronyms trip me up. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Scandinavian. Wait, is Orlick made by the same? Is it owned by the same company that Lane 1Q is open? I think Scandinavian owns all of Lane now, or vice versa. I always forget the when companies acquire each other. Anyway, I haven't talked about the blend that I'm smoking. So again, this is Morley's Best. The one thing, for those of you who are not big Cornell and Deal fans or don't have a lot of experience with Cornell and Deal, 8 times out of 10, there is no shortage of body. There's more than enough body most of the time. Usually more than what you're looking for. Oh, I forgot to get, damn it. Burley Flake number 3 used to be my old favorite. I haven't even thought about buying that. I smoked so much Burley Flake back in the day. Totally forgot about it. Had some amazing smokes, some of which were on camera in old videos. That Burley Flake number 3 was heaven. It was absolute heaven back in the day. I almost forgot about it. It's funny how the longer you're in this hobby yes, your tastes change, but also your buying habits change. If you forget to add something to your cart and you're trying so many other different tobaccos, you could get what happened to me, which is you just realize you haven't had one of your old favorites for years, and you would never have known it. There's probably a reason. I'm sure that last couple batches were not as good as the previous ones, but no, that's wild. It wasn't even in my subconscious. It was buried way down there deep. Vega, Texas, Kansas City. Emo Escudo isn't as good as 10 years ago. Well, that 10 years is a long time. I was thinking more like, year to year type of differences, but I hear what you're saying. Ahmad, the blend I tried last year and was disappointed in was Quiet Nights. They have so many different nights versions. There's Quiet Nights, there's Bayou Night, Bayou Morning. I know Quiet Nights in English. First of all, I should have bought Bayou Morning or Bayou, that cake crap. There's 2 GLP's blends I'm never gonna buy again. I was gonna hide it, but GLP's Montgomery, I've been trying to mix it my way through. I bought 8 ounces, way too much. And Telegraph Hill. I remember I thought I had great memories of these like years ago. I bought 2 8-ounce tins of each, one 8-ounce tin of each. Horrible. Like, just horrible. I'm not used to that from GLPs. I've had a very high batting average from GLPs up until, let's say, 2 years ago. Fillmore, I stand by. The last 8-ounce tin of Fillmore, again, it still felt a little more flavorless than Fillmore 3 or 4 years ago. But I always used to hold like GLPs up here above the Cornell and Deal brands, and it made sense for a long time. But man, I've been disappointed, objectively, just objectively. I haven't had Union Square in a while, so again, it's the same company. GLPs is not made by a different company. It's all coming to the same factory. You can see that in my video. But I don't think the premium from GLPs is worth it anymore. And I wanted it to be worth it. But I spent my money, and I'm telling you, I'm disappointed. And I'm committing to 8-ounce tins, not most of these GLPs things you can't get in 2-ounce tins. Little Piper Todd, welcome. Jackknife. I forgot about Jackknife. I think that the cakes, the things that are pressed, are probably a little more year-to-year consistent than just the loose, not shag cut. I forget what they call it. Ribbon cut. So Geary, it's not something. So between the Montgomery, which is Dark Fire Kentucky heavy, and Telegraph Hill, the Montgomery was the worst of those two. I actually smoked, I think, Telegraph Hill straight. Had a perfectly fine time, but I'm like, I was not. It wasn't worth the premium. I'll put it that way. I'd rather smoke this $2.50 per ounce Oriental Silk, which I've been buying for years, than Telegraph Hill. I just didn't get any. I think, long story short, I think when you go GLPs, you want to buy something in a flake form. The loose stuff, the ribbon cut stuff, I don't know. Roberto, no longer in Raleigh. I've been in Winston-Salem for 3.5 years, which is crazy. Body, man, body. Again, we're talking about Cornell and Deal's bulk, Morley's best. No shortage of body. No shortage of body. It's got body coming out both sides, top and bottom. There's I can't tell you how satisfying it is to have like a big bold body. And I'm not talking flavor, I'm talking body. Tobacco. It's been a while, actually. This is potent. This is like it's like a fist. When you're retrohaling, you feel like you're giving birth through both nostrils. Like there's a lot of space. It creates a lot of space. And I don't like to equate body with English blends. A non-English, no Latakia, big-bodied Virginia Burley blend is underappreciated, I think, in my opinion. No, I did, Roberto. I did. I moved from Raleigh to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's only like a hour and a half drive. I was in Raleigh for 5 years, and I've been here for about the last 3.5 years. Vega, Texas. Vega, Tex, KC. Burlington. It's about 45 minutes away. Okay. That explains the long name. No, at Fillmore, going back up to the comments to earlier. And again, on old videos, on old live streams, I talked about Fillmore. I had great memories of Fillmore, but it was very understated. It was not a showy blend. And you could have a bowl, and you'd be like, so I'll quote Match's A60 here. He made a famous, in my mind, a famous quote, and he was talking about some McClellan blend, some bulk McClellan blend. But his quote was it's very succinct. I'll never forget it. It was almost like 6-7 years ago. He said, this particular tobacco, he's talking about this McClellan 565 or 575, or it's 3 digits. I forget the 3 numbers. He's like, sometimes I'll smoke it and it's so cheap and it's so good. And I'm like, this is the best tobacco I've ever had. And the next day, same pipe, same bowl, same tobacco. I can live without it. And I love that clip on that video that I'm recollecting. I think we've all felt that way. There's always a blend. You're like, this is the best thing ever. I need to order 10 pounds of this right now. It's never going to change. Like, I've now seen the light. We've all done this. And then you go and you over order and you get it. And it takes a couple weeks, maybe a month, because you need to burn through what you already got. You get that second batch and you light it up, and so many different factors have changed. The climate's different. Your diet could be different. You've had different tobaccos between then and now. You light up that second batch, and you're like, whoa, what happened? This was bliss like 6 weeks ago. What happened? It's the hunt for the best tasting tobacco you've ever had. It's like fishing. You can fish from your porch. You fish with your lighter. We're all searching for flavor in one way or another. The constant quest for an olfactory experience, right? I should record. Oh, I am recording this. It is a never-ending hunt. It's a combination of two things. You're hunting for something new, but at the same time, you're also hunting to replicate an experience you had in the past. It's one or the other. I never really put it in those simple terms until now, but I think subconsciously or consciously, that's what we're all doing. I want to recreate a memory of a great tobacco of the past, or I have high expectations of smoking something that I've heard great things about that I've never had before, and I'm about to light it up right now. That's why, and I've talked about this in previous live streams before. At this stage in the game for me, sometimes I don't want to rebuy something that I had a great memory of more than a year ago. And the reason why, because I've done that many times before, and I don't want to be disappointed. It's almost like I'm protecting the psychological memory of a great experience. And if I buy that same blend again today, there's no way you can improve on that memory. Best case scenario, it might be able to have a tie and hold even. But deep down my heart, I know it's not going to. And so there are tobaccos I could talk great things about. But if someone said, why don't you buy it anymore? And I'd be like, because I don't want to ruin it. It's a crazy thing to think, but that's how I feel sometimes. All right, Ahmad, take care, brother. Never had him for Virginia. I've hit him for pouches, I thought. It's a red. I'll have to Google it later. Someone was talking to me to him for stuff about a year ago from now, and it could have been Geary, because I bought a couple pouches of. And I'm not a pouch buyer. I bought a couple pouches of M4 this and M4 that, I think. And let's just say that I haven't bought it since, so it must not have been that great. This might mean that those are my 2 cents. Impressed with the Morley's best so far. Geary best blend of the year. When I say year, I mean 12 months, not 2023. What's the best new blend you've had, and what's the most disappointing reorder that totally did like a 180 on you? Something that you used to love, and now you're like, no, no, no. Almost like have a vampire rejection toward. Again, I'm so pissed at myself for not getting Broly Flake number 3. That. If I was independently wealthy and had a time machine, I would have bought 20 pounds tobacco every year of everything I was trying, so that later on, if I said, hey, I used to love that, I can go back in the cellar and buy the same tin of the same year and the same batch. Of course, it would have been aged at the time, but I now understand why people age things. Like if you want to recall a memory, well, there's still no perfect solution. Even if you buy a bunch of tobacco, time is going to change it. So I don't know. It's tough. I've never been a wine snob. Maybe this is what wine snobs do. And they're like, I had a 62 Chateau XYZ. And then a year later they reorder it, but now it's aged another year. And so you can never actually recapture the exact experience that you had, because these are raw materials and they're changing over time. Which, again, it's fascinating, but it's also incredibly frustrating at the same time. You can't guarantee a replicatable experience. Geary, best new blend is, oh God, my eyes turned away as soon as I heard the word Sutliff. I'm not a big Sutliff fan, but then again, I haven't had a lot of experience. Best new blend is Sutliff 501c Virginia Slices, made by McClellan in Denmark. Well, Sutliff is in Richmond, Virginia, as far as I know. We'll table that for later. So not really a Sutliff. Oh, okay. Not really a Sutliff made blend. Having a bulk go-to is new for me. It's bulk? It's bulk and it's from Denmark? If so, I'm impressed. I'm sure. What does it mimic? Usually Sutliff was big on mimicking, like our blend A is meant to be a Dunhill blend C or something. Or is this like a original attempt? I haven't Googled it. My hands are up. I always like to guess the tobaccoreviews.com score. So I'm going to Google Sutliff 501c here in a second. I'm going to use Gary's input for my human algorithm, my pipe smoking algorithm. It's like old golden slice. It's pretty extreme. There's a lot of topping on golden slice. I'm going to go, I'm going to say 3-1. And here's why. People who review this are looking for it. They wouldn't stumble across it. Well, some would stumble, but they'd have to try to get there. So I think it's going to be biased toward a higher score. I don't think there's going to be any crazy low scores. So let's get the fingers on the keyboard here. Sutliff 501c. Tobacco reviews. Come on. No way. Okay, well, I was partially right. when I said I think there'd be a bias. Oh, it's been around for a while, though. This is not new. Get out of here. A 3.4? That's insane. Well, hold on. I'm gonna rank these ratings by most recent. Okay, I'm done. I saw 3 amazing reviews. Jesus, how have I missed out on that? Can you buy this on tobacco? Is it pipe tobacco? Tobaccopipes.com. Can you buy Selif on the Ladisi website? Because I looked through the whole bulk section. I don't remember seeing Selif pop up. And now, given I'm kind of anti-Selif, so I probably didn't click into it anyway. But a 3.4 is an insanely high score. Like, that's about as high a score as you can get with more than 30, 40, 50 reviews. You got to be kidding. Have I been missing out? Gary, is it, not that I care, but does it have propylene glycol? Is it kind of shiny? Not that it would impart a flavor. I'm just curious if, does it have like a McClellan-like appearance? I guess that's my question. Why have I not heard of this? We say it's like Ola Golden Slices. Ola Golden Slices is heavily topped. So is this heavily topped or no? Oh, 507. Well, that could change everything. Hold on a second. Time out. Oh no, that's what I actually. The internet took me to 507C, so that is what it is. It says it's for blending. It even says on tobaccoreviews.com, Selif Tobacco Company, 507C, Virginia Slices, blending in parentheses. So even then, they're being pretty modest. Damn it. Gary, compare it to something real quick. I know you. Does it really taste like Ola Golden Slices? Because that's hard to believe for me, because Ola Golden Slices has such a artificial topping. Don't ask me to describe it. Is it heavily topped? It'd have to be for you to compare it. No PG. It's got a slight topping, but I like it. Very natural otherwise. Okay. Where are you buying it from? I'm not going to order anything online because I usually make it $100 just to get free shipping. So I'm not gonna. And I just got a shipment like 2 weeks ago. I just got all the C&D stuff, and almost all of it has a heavy burley content, obviously. Damn, I don't need any more tobacco. Well, we've all said that before. I don't need any more tobacco. I could use it, but I don't need it. Oh, question for the audience here. It's a slight variation of the question I asked earlier, but again, I'm slightly more interested in disappointing tobaccos than surprisingly impressive tobaccos. Has there been anything you bought based on a high rating? Because we're talking about tobaccoreviews.com ratings, which is most of us look at. Right before you click the buy button, half the time you're checking out ratings, right? What is the, if any, tobacco you bought based on a high rating that you just hated or just thought didn't deserve it? I pretty much smoked everything at this point, so I can't think of anything recently for me because I keep buying the same things I bought before. But Royal Yacht was one of those, but I already told about that. I already talked about that story. I talked about Salem's Black. Salem's Black probably has a 3.2, I think. Well, first of all, F&T, Fragart and Tugart, I always forget. It's such an obscure European brand. I don't know. You won't stumble across that brand. You have to order it on purpose. Fragart and Tugart. Anyone who's buying that brand as a whole, the whole portfolio, I would say you're dipping into risky territory. I bought like 2 of theirs before, a long time ago. God, what do people go crazy about that? Oh, Nightcap. Nightcap used to be. I haven't looked on tobaccoreviews.com, but Nightcap used to be, at least on the YouTube community. What are they called? The YouTube community? Is it YouTube Pipe Smokers? YTPC. Nightcap used to be the end-all be-all of pipe tobacco back in 2014, 15, 16. I kind of caught the tail end of it. By the time I started the hobby, I think it was starting to peak. But I bought Nightcap. I didn't know, to be honest. I did have. It was very early. It's the first 3 months of my pipe smoking experience. I did have what I would call a magical Nightcap experience. Dead serious. I can recall the evening. I can recall the transitions in the bowl, but it was probably my 20th or 25th bowl. Later on, when I would buy it again, it just kind of faded into nothingness. But I had a magical experience. I had one. Freeburg and Trayer, whatever I said. I was way off on the title, but all right, boys, I'm going to wrap it up here in a few minutes, but let me show you my tobacco collection as of today. Let's get these off. And I wanted to, I forgot who asked earlier. I was talking about Montgomery. I was talking about 2 GLP's blends that I felt it kind of went down in quality. Give me a second here. I still highly recommend Triple Play. It's a bear to break up and actually smoke, but it's unique. It's very unique. The 2 that I was a little bored by, Telegraph Hill, perfectly fine. I'm going to smoke it again tonight, but not a lot there. Not bad, just not a lot there. The one I was really disappointed in, but I had high hopes for because I like a little bit of Dark Fire Kentucky, was Montgomery. Again, GLPs, you're paying a premium for this. It's probably $38 per 8-ounce tin. Let me just smell it. You can't judge anything by how it smells, but smells great. I have tried to mix this. I have like 3/4 of a tin left. I've tried to get through this in any way I can, but again, it's not bad. It's just, I don't know. I'll try it again tonight. Our taste buds change so unpredictably. I don't want to call it quits just yet. All right, boys, I'm going to call it an evening. Have a good week, and I'll be back before another 6 months, hopefully. Take care.